Today you're going to learn to use the Revolve tool and the mirror tool. So we'll make this heart and a ball or sphere. So first we need to make a project library. So hit the home button and projects, new single project. And we'll call this Revolve and mirror. And next, and finish. Done. Okay, make sure that your Revolve and Mirror project library is checked. And we'll begin a new part. So I'm going to use the drop-down part. And this one will make the sphere or ball using the Revolve tool. So first I need to make a sketch. And what I'm going to do is create what's called a slice of that ball. So you'll know what I mean after you follow my instructions. So I'll create on this plane, the XY plane, and I'm going to start with a line. And I'll make my line 2 inches. And bring it into view. Whoops, front. And then the arc tool. And the arc tool, remember, I need to see the green dot, and I click on one end of the line, then on the other end of the line, and I'll bring it out. It should be 1 inch, the arc. And now we're going to revolve this shape, this semicircle, around this axis. So I go to 3D model, revolve, and the program already knows that I'm using this closed area, that shape, but if it's not blue, then I would click on that first. Okay, that is the profile, but it already is selected. So it's on select axis, and I'm revolving around this axis. So I clicked it, and it revolved that shape around to make the ball. I say OK, and File, Save As, and call it Ball. Okay, now we're going to use the mirror tool. So again, this is, here, let me bring up what you're going to create. Okay, so you're going to create this heart, and what will be mirrored is the sketch we make when we have half the heart, so it's perfectly symmetrical. Okay, a new part. And start 2D sketch, choose my XY plane, and I am going to first make a line that will be the middle or center mirroring line of that heart, and let's also make that 2 inches. Okay, and now I'm hitting my escape so line isn't selected anymore. And I'm going to make a line going this direction, and then I'll use the arc tool to make the round part of that half heart. So a line again, and make sure you're on the end of the line, and I'm just gonna kind of wing it here and see how it ends up. So I'll click there and switch to my arc tool, and now click on the end of this line, the end of this line, and I want to be able to see it better, so I'm going to hit front, and that's okay if I hit front while I have the tool selected. And I think that looks pretty good. Okay, and now I'm going to mirror that shape. This actually, I think I should bring this down a little bit, so I'm going to click on the 2 inches, and I'm going to make it 1.75 and see what happens. Okay, it looks kind of funky. Let's see if I can, I think what I'm going to do is delete this and remake my arc. There we go. And see how this turns out. So now I'll go to 3D model, and this time I'm choosing, I'm not going to 3D model. This is still the sketch, my error. So now I'm looking for mirror right here. I'm going to mirror, and I have two things I want to mirror. So I select this. Whoops, it didn't select it. There we go. And this, and then I change from select to mirror line, and this is what I want to mirror across. Apply, and there's my heart. Done. And now I'm going to extrude it. And let's just say this is the beginning of a heart box. And look, this time it's not selected the closed areas that I want to extrude. So I select, and we'll leave it. Mine's at 1 inch. I'll leave it at 1 inch and say OK. File, save as, and I'll save that one as heart. Okay. Now, yet a new tool. Now, let's say I want to make this into a heart-shaped box. So there's a shell tool. I'll choose the shell tool, and I'm going to select a face and click on this one right here that says outside, and 1/10 of an inch is my thickness. Let's see what happens when I change that to, I'll change it to 0.2. Okay, and now it's much thicker. How about 0.15? Okay, so that's the area that it leaves behind. So 1 is actually pretty good. And notice also that it leaves the back. So it's a really helpful tool. I'm going to say OK. And there I have my heart box. Okay, I'll save it again with the floppy disk. Now finally, we're going to export this model or save it as a 3D printable file. And in my last videos, I wasn't aware that our new printers needed you to do something special, and that's this. I want you to do this. Click on Tools, Document Settings, Units, that's the units of measurement, and I need this to be in millimeters, because when we save it in inches, then the printer doesn't read inches even when we tell it that it's saved in inches in the next step. So I apply. It does not change the size of the heart. It simply changes the dimensions into millimeters. So if I go to the sketch, you'll see my 2 inches is 44.45 millimeters. So it's still the same size. Now I'm going to click on File, hover over Save As, choose Save Copy As, and now I'm going to save the STL file. STL, go to Options, and it says centimeter, but it's millimeters, so let's change it to millimeter, and it should be on high resolution, and say OK, and save. Okay, that STL file is what you will upload to the assignment in Canvas.